Are you a college grad who thought it would be simple to find a job? Did you have a hard time? Was it what you thought you wanted it to be? Did you come out of college or even enter into college thinking, gosh, man, I've got my path just fully secured. I'm going to be fine. And then you got hit with the hardcore reality that McDonald's might have been the only thing that was hiring for your degree. Entry level $7 an hour. We asked this question of our audience, and we've got some people brave enough to talk about what solutions they found after not being able to find work after college, or maybe they did find work after college. So we have Amanda from South Dakota. Amanda, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thanks, Dani.
So what was it like for you? First of all, where did you go to college and what was your degree?
Well, I was actually a non-traditional student. After struggling, being a single mom with 3 kids, I wanted something better for them. I wanted to prove to them that you can go back to college at any age and be successful.
Wow.
So after 4 years of just really working hard, graduating, which I did here first part of June, I'm still looking. I've bet I have gotten probably 50 rejections, anything from you have all the skills we need, but we're going to go with somebody else, or I'm sorry, good luck, you're not qualified, or you're overqualified. It's tough. I'm actually looking at fast food. Is that going to be an option? Is that where I need to go?
Wow.
I do work in an area right now where I can use some of my education, but not all of it.
Okay, so what did you graduate with again?
I have a bachelor's degree in human resource management.
Wow. So human resource management, which you would think there should be plenty of opportunity for that. Okay, and then so human resource management. First of all, can I just say I'm just so proud of you. Look at you. Like, so that was a lifelong goal that you had, but you had kids instead and then just went, well, hold on a second, I'm still going to go after it.
Right.
Wow. Well, if nothing else, that's what you did. So you went and you proved to yourself that you could get that education that you wished you had gotten. Now, the flip side of it is that you're not finding work. When did you graduate?
I actually graduated June 2nd, so about a month ago.
Wow. So, and still can't find anything. And you've been rejected 50 times. Have you been on 50 interviews?
No, I can't even get that far.
So you're saying that...
I turn in my resume and they review it, and then about 2.5 weeks later, I get a rejection.
And is that through an email?
Yep.
Okay. So Amanda, this is what I want you to try. Okay. Because you're not alone. A lot of people are having this experience in their lives, which sucks. I mean, here you made this investment, which is like amazing that you invested into an education, and now you're finding that you're not able to find something with it. Okay. So 2 things. Number 1, if you don't already have Job Domination is a training system that shows you how to write your resume in a very unique way so that it stands out different than everybody else's. Please, whatever you do not say in your resume, I believe I'm a good fit for your company because. Don't say that. That is the most coined, overused, immediate red flagger that is given to people like us who are employers, okay? So whenever we see that, whenever somebody even sends a thank you email that says, well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and this is why I believe that my skills in da-da-da-da-da are a perfect fit for you because of da-da-da-da-da, it's like the standard template, and every employer can pick up on it. And so when every resume looks the same, it doesn't matter what's inside of it, but when it's the same old nonsense, because we know that every applicant is saying the same exact thing to every single employer. It's kind of like this. Dating. Like, could you imagine that if you were to go on a date and the guy is saying to you, this is why I think I'm a fit for you, and this is why, and because of da-da-da, and he just gives the same old line. And can you imagine that same guy giving that exact line to 50 women? You're like, ew, this is not original. You're not being authentic. This is gross. No, thank you. And so I can tell you on this side of it, where we went through 1,000 applications last year, okay, 1,000 applications. Sadly, I didn't want to tell you how many we hired out of 1,000 applications that we read through, that we and even less that we actually then had them fill out a form. I can tell you this too, and I know this is not you, Amanda. I know it's not you. But I have two different companies that we're hiring for right now. And I cannot tell you how many times I have seen the same exact template over and over again, which just tells me this is not original, this is not authentic. Because you wouldn't go on a date saying these kind of things. So why would you say this to an employer? We know you're saying this to everybody else. Okay, so your resume's got to be very different. It's got to look different than everybody else's. I'm not talking about just a graphics thing. That's not what I'm talking about. But there is a template inside of Job Domination that requires even for you to give testimony, to bring testimonies involved in this particular resume, and to write it honestly as a sales letter and with copywriting, and to what actually draws the reader in and makes them, oh, this is different, and therefore yours gets set aside. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is that if you've put out 50 resumes, I'd be picking up the phone, girlfriend. This is something that we talk about in Job Domination. Pick up the phone and call them and say, can you please tell me why my application was rejected? Can you tell me what about my resume that caused you to say, nope, I don't even want to talk to her? I want you to do 50 follow-up calls. And I want you to learn from them that what is on your resume that made them put you in the rejected pile. One thing I can tell you, and I just heard this recently and I'm blown away by a friend of mine who's a consultant for major Fortune 500 companies. And what they told me was that they instantly reject anyone with a 4.0. Automatically. Whenever they see an application coming in with a 4.0, they're like, nope, not taking it, not taking it. And I'm like, what? Why? And then I had one of our employees who used to work for Fortune 500 companies who now works with us, who said the same thing. He says, yeah, we were hiring for IT. Anybody that had this certain high level of certification, right away we rejected them. And so what they found is that these people are unable to relate to the other people they're working with. They cared more about the accolades of getting their PhD and their 4.0 and all this extra credit stuff, that they were not able to integrate with the rest of the employees. They had bad communication skills. They didn't have good people management skills or even their own personal management skills. And so I would be doing that, friend. I'm serious. Call all 50 of them. They all have a phone number that's published on their website. Call them, ask for the human resource director, and just ask point blank, hey, listen, thanks so much for taking my call. I sent you in a resume and I just wanted to know, why did it go to the rejection pile? I'm trying to learn here and I don't understand what's going on. Next, what I would do, because that's how to get in the door, to ask the question, and keep calling. I don't care if they don't call you back. Keep calling, because what you're showing yourself to be is one who's following up. You're showing yourself who is willing to learn. You're showing yourself to be humble, and that is what the company is looking for. And they can't tell if you're humble on black and white, but it's through the follow-up process and through you asking the questions and you following through that shows them, hold on, this is somebody I believe can actually do the job and get the job done. So that would show you to be very, very rare. You have to think about 98% of the people looking for a job right now is just sending an email, emailing their resume. That ain't doing squat. You got to follow your shot if you're going to get the shot in the bucket and get the points. Do you understand? So follow your shot. You got 50 phone calls to make. I don't care if you have to make 10 calls per one. Make those calls, make a friend over there. And the most important thing you want to do is to learn what's on my resume that caused you to reject it. I really want to know. I'm trying to learn. I went back to college to get this degree, looking for work, just really even wanting to learn. At this point, I'd even work for free so I can learn the skills that I need to get the experience that I need. I don't know that you should say that, but I know that I've hired somebody who has said that before, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. Obviously, I wouldn't let them work for free, but the fact that they were willing to showed me their eager desire to work and to work hard and to prove themselves. All right, so that's it on that one. So Ashley from Amarillo, Texas. Ashley, what about you? Have you gone to college, got your degree, and can't find work?
Hello. Well, I graduated some years back.
What's some years back? Is that 2 years, 10 years, 50 years? How long ago?
2005.
Oh, that's a lot. That's like 13 years ago.
Yes, some years back. So, but the idea.
Can you believe it's been 13 years?
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe
no.
it? I know.
No, I look back, I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't I just living in the dorm?
I know. Gosh.
But the one piece of advice going into school and then going into workplace that helped me the most was my entire life, my dad always taught me, pursue what you love, but have multiple skill sets so that no matter what happens, you can always find work and you can always take care of yourself and or your family if you find yourself in that position.
Yes, that was really good
Fast
advice.
Forward. Oh, my goodness. Fast forward 11 years from graduation. I'm married. I have a 15-month-old son. I have a daughter who's about 3 or 4 weeks old.
Congratulations.
My husband, thank you. We've got number 3 coming in September.
Oh, my gosh.
So my husband was the main breadwinner, and he was injured, and he suffered a traumatic brain injury, and it completely disabled him.
Oh, my gosh.
And he wasn't even able to live with us for about a year and a half.
Oh, my gosh.
So because I had multiple things I could do, I was able to continue working, supporting my family, and coordinating with others for fundraisers, because we had $12,000 to come up with his treatment to save his life.
Wow.
And because I listened to my dad, and I had multiple things I could do, and I was able to coordinate and connect with and work with multiple different people, we were able to come up with the money, and we were able to make ends meet.
Wow.
So even though going out of college, my main source of income was not necessarily the industry for which I had been trained, it is part of my income now, and it's served me well to be willing to do and learn multiple things.
Wow. Wow. What a story. I am so proud of you. I am really, really proud of you, and that you stuck it out with your husband, and now look at you guys with babies and still making some. You go, girl. Sounds like the husband's brain injury is working out just fine. Anyway, wow, what an amazing story. And so look at that, like great advice from her father. Looking about how many kids reject the advice of their parents. You were a rare one, young lady. You were an absolute rare one to take on that advice, because it obviously has served you well, and you've been able to serve your family as a direct result, and your community. So listen, you might be of that mindset that, gosh, I went to college, I should be entitled to getting a better job. Well, here you just heard it, where no, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will. You don't want to find yourself like all of those people out there that think just because they went to college, they're entitled to an opportunity. There are millions of people that are going through college, who all have that same mindset that I am entitled. You have to give me a job because I have a college degree. That's only going to get you stuck. It only sets you up for failure. Entitlement will never open the floodgates of blessing over your life ever. Okay, but what will is you working towards it. What will is you not allowing how everybody else does something to stop you from achieving the thing that you want to do. So just as I was saying to Amanda, like, you got 50 phone calls to make, and you might make those phone calls 10 times each. Do what other people are not willing to do. And you're showing yourself to be trustworthy and faithful and hardworking and diligent, which is what every company is looking for. And you can say that on a resume, but everyone says that on a resume. So you got to show what others are not willing to show. So friend, here's the deal. If you're in that place right now where you have been waiting for a job to fall out of the sky, or that somehow you think that sending out emails of your resume is supposed to somehow result in you getting a phone call, it doesn't. Here's the big secret. It doesn't. It's those who work hard for it are the ones who get it. Not only that, but there's some other secrets to being able to get hired on to the kind of company you want to be with, and that's knowing people inside of that company. And that's going to come from the skill set of networking and putting yourself in the position to be meeting people, as well as developing relationships to the point where they feel compelled that they want to tell someone else about you. Do you know how to do that? Do you know the specific communication strategies that opens doors for your life? Opens doors just like it did for Meryl, who at the time it was a terrible economy. And right now we're in a great economy. Right now there's like more jobs than there are people looking for jobs. That's the latest statistic. I know this personally, as we've been on a hiring frenzy and are having a challenge of finding qualified, hardworking, diligent people that understand excellence and diligence and believe in our core values. We're having a challenge filling those positions, but it's not stopping us from continuing to bait the hook and cast that hook out there in the grand giant ocean of people around the world that have the skill set that we're looking for. But do you know those communication skills that is going to usher you in to the right person in the right office for the right company? If you did already have those skills, you'd already be in the position you want. We can show you exactly how to get those skills. Like Meryl, who was applying for a job making $35,000 a year, but instead, on the spot, he was hired at $125,000 a year. Do you know those secrets? Do you? If you did, you'd be having that same job, right? First Steps to Wealth is your first step into understanding those communication skills. You can get your free copy on our website. Download it right now. DannyJohnson.com is the site. First Steps to Wealth is the book. You can download your copy immediately. Start reading. There's 2 chapters in here that shows you the secrets to standing out different than everybody else in the workplace that causes you to be the one picked instead of your competitors, as well as communication skills and knowing who your interviewer is, what they really want, and how to communicate to get it to them versus sounding like every other slick oil salesman out there that is interviewing for a job. If you're really serious about growing and getting that thing landed, it reminds me of a woman who had not worked for 3 years. She had 3 children, and she heard about job domination and said she could not afford it. I can't afford it. She's a beautiful African-American woman, single mother, who spent 3 solid years pinching pennies and barely making ends meet, taking advantage of every possible opportunity that she had to get help and assistance. Well, now the assistance had ran out, and she'd gotten an email about job domination. Used the excuse that she didn't have the money. Then came the next week a flood of testimonials of people who had purchased job domination and had already found work inside of 7 days, who had offers 2 and 3 times more money for jobs they weren't even qualified for because they learned the secrets to interviewing in a very unique way and having people create positions for them. So check it out. She used diaper money to get a hold of job domination. Spent the diaper money on it, got it, pressed played immediately because it's a digital program that you can download right now. She began to listen to it, rewrote her resume according to the way that we gave it to her. She landed 3 opportunities in 3 days. She then used another strategy that we teach in Job Dom on how to get those 3 competing with each other. She was able to ratchet up and negotiate a salary that was more than double than the one that she left. And within 3 months, she got promoted 3 times. Isn't that funny? I don't know why she has all these 3s inside of her story. 3 years unemployed, single mother of 3 children, totally hopeless, didn't have the cash, spent the diaper money to get job domination, pressed played within 3 days, 3 offers, and then took the best one. 90 days later, 3 months, she got promoted 3 times. Once a month, the woman was promoted from utilizing the things inside of job domination. So it's up to you. If you want to be that person who says, come hell or high water, I have to solve this and I don't care how much it costs, it's time for me to make the investment in the skill set that I obviously am lacking because I'm not able to find what I'm looking for. So invest into yourself. It's the best investment you can make. Get a hold of Job Domination. You can find it at DannyJohnson.com. Click on shop. Get it, make that investment, and friend, you are going to write me just like she did. You're going to write me just like she did that very next week after she applied it. 3 job offers. Then she was on stage with me sharing her story as everybody in the entire crowd, 1,000 people in the room with her jaws just dropped. And of course, people flooding to the back of the room to get a hold of their copy of Job Domination. You're a little bit behind right now because she got it before you as well as thousands of others who now you're competing against in the marketplace. Make sure and get your copy of Job Domination right now. It is a very important training program so that you can utilize that degree you worked so hard for. So that's it for us for today. Please share this with somebody. Somebody is struggling and they feel worthless because they're not being able to get hired and they don't have the positioning or the understanding about what their next step is to solve that problem. Here we had solutions in here. Between both Ashley and Amanda, there's solutions in here. So please pass this on to someone else. Don't keep this information to yourself. Freely you received it, freely pass it on to everybody else that you know. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DannyJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. This has been The Danny Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.